August 31st is recognized as International Overdose Awareness Day. It is marked to remember those who lost to overdose, reduce the stigma surrounding drug-related deaths, and support affected families. It also raises awareness about the growing opioid crisis and the urgent need for prevention, education, and harm reduction. Various programs were organized across Simcoe County to mark the occasion. The North Simcoe Drug Strategy hosted a community event outside the Midland Public Library, while Moms Stop the Harm and Ryan's Hope organized an event in Barrie. Below is our coverage of the events and interviews.
Here speaking on behalf of International Overdose Awareness Day for the health unit, and I was invited by the library. What I enhanced on my speech today was the fact that we still call it an overdose when it's really not an overdose, because people are not choosing the amount of drugs that they are dying from. What is happening is the supply has been tainted and poisoned, so people are dying from a toxic supply. I think this is a toxic drug poisoning crisis that we're going through, and I think if we start looking at it like that, then we're going to reduce some stigma. And yes, this has been talked about for a very long time, but as Overdose Awareness Day comes along and we continue to use the same language in our conversations, it diminishes people's value. Yeah, mental health issues that aren't being dealt with, and a lot of people have found comfort through their mental health with certain substances. And the reactions to different substances will be different for each and every single person, whether it be a stimulant or depressant. Yeah, people self-medicate because it makes them feel better. And the reason for that, wanting to feel better, is because we all want to feel free from stresses and inabilities to have homes and jobs and a thriving life. When you don't have a safe consumption site, these are the types of concerns that happen in neighborhoods, because it's everywhere that becomes a consumption site. So safe consumption sites actually gives people a place, a space to have autonomy, and not only that, but the people to direct them to the right resources to recovery if that's what they need. Housing first, I always say, because I mean, when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we want to start with the person and their basic needs: food, housing, and security. So as we go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I think we skip certain steps and just expect people to be at the top of self-actualization, but they've missed all the love and belonging, the safety and security that it takes to get to the self-actualization. So I think for our communities that we need to start at the bottom: housing, food, security, safety, counselors, and places to figure out who they are through expression and creativity. Because if people are always going to be within their depression and not be able to find some release from that, then I feel like relapses are going to continue to happen, because they need a path forward. Everybody needs to have something that makes them feel inspired. Okay, well, I can speak a little bit about Barrie from when I was there last year. I did spend a night at Ann Street. I was asked by one of the homeless people to come and spend some time with her because she felt she was being targeted by somebody. And she was right. And what I seen down there was a bunch of people that were thriving in an environment of community, because they were pushed out of everywhere else. And although it's not the type of community that you and I would like to model, it's somewhere they found that safety, that love, that belonging, that sense of community. And unfortunately, what happens when people are discarded by the system, they become to the point where they're trying to make their own laws, because they want to have the power or the security over people that are vulnerable. And as sad as it is, I mean, people have become Pharaoh in a lot of ways. And even more sad is that the community didn't come together for the two people that died. And I think, to me, that is the most devastating part, is that it took so long for these to come out, because of the community network that they build is actually building secrecy now and silencing things that need to be spoke about because of their own fear of being removed from their homes and the very little pieces of community they have. Well, it gets worse come into winter because people can't spread out, even if they're trying to do recovery or be away from certain people. I mean, there's only a certain amount of places that people can go. And in the summer, you can kind of spend your time in a tent away from your group or whatever, but then winter comes and everybody's heading for shelters, trying to get a bed. The environments are not the greatest for recovery. It adds a lot of stress to people. So then they decide to stay outside and rough the elements, and then we have problems with forest fires or tent fires rather, and other elements that don't need to necessarily happen. And I'm worried. I'm really worried about the network that has happened in our communities. South Simcoe, North Simcoe, the volume of homelessness is evident in every corner and every community. And if we don't target that and bring them back into our community, we can expect that they're going to keep creating their own communities. I don't expect anything for temporary relief. I mean, last year in Midland, they had Monday to Friday, the social services building open. Nothing on the weekends. So that forces all the homeless people or people that are having troubles, even if it's a short period of time and not necessarily designated homeless, to places like trap houses. And they become more networked with those people, or arrests happen and they go to jail and become even more networked with those people. And life just becomes more of a challenge at every turn that they take. I mean, nowhere is safe. There's no love and belonging. They're just kind of existing. And when you just exist, you're not really worried about the rest of the world. You're worried about your own existence. Yes, I really want us to recognize that love and belonging is one of the most essential parts of a community. And we can all do love and belonging. It doesn't cost anything, and it's very much so something you can see in a community. When I came in to speak today, I was embraced by a group of women, and it was a great feeling of love and belonging to be a part of other groups that believe in human life as well as me. So I think really with grief, with overdose awareness, with mental health, and with everything, the very baseline to it all is love and belonging.
We are outside the Midland Public Library. We are observing International Overdose Awareness Day. It's a global campaign that brings people together to take action on overdose. It's observed on August 31st of each year, with events taking place throughout the week in various communities. And the North Simcoe Drug Strategy organized this local community event today to honor the memory of those who we've lost, and for friends and family to reflect on the ongoing toxic drug crisis, and to encourage compassion and understanding and kindness in the community. What we're seeing in the community is a toxic drug supply, and we're seeing in Simcoe, Muskoka, we're seeing an increased number of opioid poisonings and deaths, and this event is to bring awareness and education to that. There are various reasons why people use drugs, but no one ever chooses to have a substance use disorder. It is a medical issue and should be treated as such. Actions people can take is to have an understanding of what addiction is, to learn more about stigma, to speak about substance use disorder and addiction, and obtain the knowledge that it is a medical health issue and not a choice. Well, there are various resources available. Different organizations provide resources. The Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit, we are part of the Ontario naloxone program. We are the core site. We do distribute naloxone kits. for people in the community. We do refer to different services for treatment, and we do provide education and information to the public. We provide this information at events like this. We provide presentations out in the community, and we collaborate with other community partners to address the toxic drug crisis. The health unit distributes naloxone kits to people who use drugs and to friends and family of those who use. And we have partnerships with other community providers. We have naloxone distribution partnerships. So this is a nasal naloxone kit, or Narcan, and inside we have 2 doses of Narcan, and inside as well there is 5 steps to respond to an overdose. So in the naloxone kit you will see the 5 steps to respond to an opioid overdose. So step 1 is to shout and shake. Step 2, call 911, very important to call 911, and then administer the naloxone. And perform rescue breathing and or chest compressions. So if you are trained in CPR, do CPR. And is it working? So if it's not working, after 2 to 3 minutes, repeat steps 3 to 4. So here are 2 doses of Narcan or naloxone. So if you suspect someone has an opioid poisoning, you will see different signs. So signs of an opioid poisoning include irregular breathing or not breathing at all, irregular pulse or no pulse, blue-tinged lips or fingernails, pale skin, unresponsive, unconscious, pinpoint pupils, gurgling and snoring sounds. So if you suspect that a person is having an opioid poisoning, this is the naloxone to use. This is nasal naloxone. To use it, you remove it from the package, and you have the person lying down. Place your hand under their neck. It's ready to go out of the package. You put your thumb on the plunger and your 2 fingers on either side of the nozzle. Gently, it's inserted into the nostril and firmly press. Wait 2 to 3 minutes. If it's not working, then you administer the other dose into the other nostril, and again wait 2 to 3 minutes. Again, it's important to call 911 because more naloxone may be needed to bring that person out of the poisoning, and they will have more naloxone kits on hand to use and stay with the person, because naloxone usually lasts for about an hour, and after an hour the naloxone wears off, and that person could go back into their overdose. So again, very important to call 911.
This country and around the world, in communities just like ours, people are showing up and speaking out to demand an end to harmful policies and laws that stigmatize, do harm, and cost lives. This week, in over 1,000 communities like ours, in 40 countries around the world, people are showing up to celebrate lost loved ones, to use the power of their collective voices, and to demand change. We are not a small group. We are large, and sadly, we are growing in numbers every single day. We are one big family, united in trauma, grief, and loss. The toxic drug crisis doesn't discriminate. It impacts us all. It shatters families, and it fractures communities. The losses go deeper than one person, one family, or one neighborhood. They ripple out in classrooms, workplaces, and communities around the world. These losses cross borders between cities, provinces, and nations. The toxic drug crisis reminds us all of our interconnectedness. It bonds us through our common humanity of love and loss. This year, in communities around the world, we come together as one big family, connected and committed. This year, we come together to take action. This year, let us imagine what that family can be. A human family driven by hope, love, and action. We are one big family, not just because we share in pain of loss, but because we share in the power to change the narrative. We share in the power to hold governments accountable. We share in the power of our lived experiences. Together we can change policies, end stigma, and save lives. When we started this work, there was a desire by many politicians to want to do better. There was a will for them to listen to the voices of lived experiences and to learn from them. There were victories and successes. They were small, but nevertheless, there were wins. It's been heartbreaking to watch that will disappear and the wins pulled back regardless of the cost in human lives. In the 5 years since we began, the number of Canadians lost to the toxic drug crisis rose from 23,000 to 56,000. That is double the number of lost human lives in just 5 years. Deaths that were preventable. Deaths that occurred due to our country's failed war on drugs. Deaths caused by government's willingness to ignore the evidence just to score political points. Deaths that occurred because of stigma that some lives are less valuable and thus deemed disposable. We are gathered here tonight to challenge that stigma. We are gathered to honor those lives lost, to celebrate their humanness. They were not numbers. They were our loved ones. They were our children, our siblings, our spouses, our friends, our parents, our co-workers, and our neighbors. Their lives mattered. Their loss matters. We will say their names, carry their light, and honor their memory. I will say a prayer, and then we will share a meal together. I invite you after you get your meal to visit our community partner tables and to chat with each other and get to know your neighbors. We are grateful for the community partners who have joined us tonight. Their presence is important because we need to gather together in community, not just as individuals, but across movements, because there is an intersection in all of our fights. Indigenous activist Lila Watson said it well when she said, "If you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together." Let us pray. Loving Spirit, we gather to mourn and honor those we have lost to drug-related harms and system failures. May our collective witness comfort those who grieve and mourn loved ones. May it be a beacon of light to those lost in the darkness and strength for those who walk the path of recovery. Help us stand with one another. Help us to help one another and to lead. Help us to believe in the transformative power of community and love. Ever-present Spirit, you are the light that shines in the darkness. Amen. Let's eat.
I'm from the Gilbert Center, so my position is a harm reduction worker there. What we do is, so mostly the people who access our services are homeless population and people who use drugs. So we help them by giving them resources, referrals, educate them regarding the harmful practices on not using the safer supplies for using drugs. So we provide them with safer kits. So this is like a bowl kit. It's mainly used for meth, and this is a crack kit and some straws and foil. So all these are used for drugs, like safer uses of drugs. So what we mean by this is if we don't use the correct ones, like if we share things, it can cause transmission of diseases like Hep C and all that stuff. So yeah, we provide these kits to help with that. And when we come to this, so this is nasal Narcan and this is needle ones. So we use this in case of overdose. And Narcan, it is mainly like used, helps with an opioid crisis, but we still administer this in case of any overdose because we don't necessarily know what kind of drug they took. Sometimes it comes like with mix of drugs and the user doesn't know what kind of drug it's. Yeah, it's all up for grabs. Yeah. So that's with the Narcan. All these pods are part of the safer sexes, and so this is used for oral sex. So it's like flavored condoms, and this is a latex dab. So this is used for like outside. It's like an outside condom. It's like a sheet, and like you put it on top, like for oral sex. And this is like silicone glue. This is an internal female condom. So we insert this inside the like the female vagina for condom. and this is like the regular condom and like the latex condoms, and this is the non-latex ones in case if people are like allergic to the latex or yeah. And this is like a small guide on. So it is hard for some people to act like to think that that we are promoting like drug use, but that is not the case. Like just for example, take the like the condoms, like the safer sex use. So now we do like educate people on how to use safer methods for sex, how to use a condom, and why we need to use a condom, like if we like do need, and especially like it's really important that the teenagers they know how to use them, because that's when like the kids are like getting to know about the sexual stuff and they don't know much about it, and knowing about the safer uses of like how to like have safer sex and how to use condoms, it can eliminate the bad things that come along with it. Example like STDs and unwanted pregnancies. So educating them on how to use doesn't mean that we are promoting sex. We are just letting them know that how to use these things so that they don't get into like unwanted pregnancy at such a young age, which can complicate their life in the future. So it's the same idea with these kids. So if we don't use like the needle, like the clean needles, what would happen is like they would share among people, and it can cause like transmission of like diseases like hepatitis C and other like bloodborne transmitted diseases.
The ceremony for the International Overdose Awareness Day. My name is Justin Antoine, and if you don't know me, I work as the BIPOC Harm Reduction Coordinator at Asian Community Aid Services in Chinatown. And so we work within the BIPOC community, basically teaching about harm reduction, substance use addiction, trying to reduce the stigma. I also work at Moms Stop the Harm, I did a photo story called No More Shame, which basically is a photo story project of moms from Moms Stop the Harm. So, the first song, I'm going to be singing throughout the night, but I'm going to open the ceremony by singing a very special song that's called Tears in Heaven.
Okay, thank you all so much for coming to our vigil of remembrance for International Overdose Awareness Day. To be completely honest with all of you, I've been trying to prepare for this day for weeks.
Thank you.
Trying to figure out what to say and how to be a glimmer of hope in this darkness. Trying to honor these beautiful souls, and I'm lost. I really don't know what to say. Things are worse, way worse, way worse now than when I started this work about 3 years ago. We have even less support, plus politicians that are openly trashing our most vulnerable community. They are murdering us. There is no other way to say it. We have a crisis on our hands. We have solutions backed with proof for how to handle and solve this drug and homelessness crisis. And yet, instead of investing time and money into these initiatives to solve the drug and homeless crisis, they are taking them away and lying to the public, using the hateful and brainwashed to push their disgusting propaganda, and are straight up trapping and killing our loved ones. I am so angry, and I'm so fed up. But I will never give up, because I know love, and it's love's turn. Tonight is proof. Tonight we stand together, united, wearing our grief and love on our sleeves for the world to see. That's how we heal. That's how we change things. This year there's a focus on highlighting how we are a part of one big family. Personally, I like to say we're in a club that no one wants to be a part of. And it has the most badass, loving, strong, and caring people for its members. Okay, so you know what? With that being said, everyone who's able, come and form a circle right now and hold each other's hands. If you're touchy, you can do a little pokey thing. Come. Yeah, you're just gonna have to kind of hold it because I have my hands. Yeah. I mean, cute thing. Yeah, you don't have to hold me. Yeah. You do not have to hold me, guys. Hold me, guys.
Okay. Let us in.
Everybody.
Got another one.
Man, I can already feel the love. Okay, now I want everyone to repeat after me. Tonight we stand together, united. Tonight we stand together, united. Wearing our grief and love on our sleeves for the world to see. Wearing our grief and love on our sleeves for the world to see. We choose love. We choose love. We choose community. We choose community. Yeah, guys, we're just gonna do like a little group hug because I don't know how else to end This is how we change the world. Never forget it. Never forget it. Thank you so much for doing this with me, guys. Thank you. Amazing. Yeah, give each other a round of applause. That was beautiful, guys. Like I said, it's time for love. And one of the ways we love and understand each other is through telling and listening to each other's stories. Tonight we have 3 speakers, each with their own story, sharing parts of it with you. Getting up here and being vulnerable is not easy. It takes guts and it's terrifying. And I am so grateful for these wonderful speakers we have tonight. I'm sure, totally sure, because we're family here, that we're all going to give them the respect they deserve and listen while they speak, while they share a part of themselves with us. So without further ado, our first speaker is a beautiful mother who lost her beautiful daughter to this terrible crisis. You don't want to go first? Okay, just kidding. Natalie, I'm going to you. No worries. Okay. So, our first speaker is someone who does some incredible work, sharing her story with her beautiful soul. Please put your hands together for Natalie Harris.
Thank you. I love that. It's so true. Love is what this is. Pure love. So my name's Natalie. I'm so honored to be here. Christine, Tom, Ryan's Hope team, everybody. See lots of my familiar faces even from a couple years ago because it still doesn't end that we have to show up every year and make sure we're remembering and bringing love for sure. So I wanted to just, no matter what, how many times I've shared stories or even little parts of it, it's hard because we block it away sometimes, but this is a safe space for us to be able to remember. So I definitely have been in a world of darkness in my own life. I've been hospitalized more times than I can ever count. Multiple hospitals all over, and I was struggling so much with what I didn't want to be in my life, and that's kind of the point. No one who enters into this world of addiction or mental illness, no one chose that. There's usually, most of these people are just the most beautiful, amazing, loving people. And for whatever reason, whatever trauma, let darkness come into their soul for a bit. And unfortunately, sometimes that darkness is too strong. And I'm trying not to cry. So, I have family members that are still struggling. I haven't seen some for many years. One in particular very close to me. And all I do is pray every day with every breath in my body that they stay healthy and stay here. But because we're here to remember the people that we've lost, and I was trying to remember as well, I think in 3 years in the world of addiction, I've been in the rooms for many, many years through my own recovery. I lost 8 friends in 3 years. And I was just like, that is unbelievable. And some are on here. It's so hard to even process that that's still real, that they're not here with us. But my message here tonight through my recovery and where I'm at this many years in my life is to remember that even though, I'm going to grab this little candle, even though there's darkness, there is darkness here on this earth. There is. But there's also light, because we are light and we are love. So when we're holding onto this candle, I'm thinking in my heart, the first thing that I would see is my loved ones, my friends that I'm missing, and I see that they're looking at me, right? I'm looking at this light and I'm like, their light tonight is shining on me. Their light is on me. It's literally reflecting on me. But what it also is reflecting is out this way. And I see it as an opportunity for us to be able to remember our loved ones that are light. This is what they are. They are love. They are light. And they are here to teach too. What an opportunity for us to be able to bring their memory here and not just focus on darkness, but to be they are the ones that are the best teachers of all. They are the ones that are shining the light in this collective across the world. And together, we are bringing all of that together. It's not just the light that we see with our grief as we look into the candle. They are shining outwards as well. They are love. They are not gone. When the candle goes out, when the wax is melted, whatever, they don't leave. They're transformed into a different energy. But they're here tonight and they're teaching all of us as well through their love. Because we know every single one of these people are loved. They are probably the most loving people I have ever known. These are people that are full of love and people that are loved. And that's how I remember, and that's what I send out to people in my family that are still struggling. So even though we have a moment of remembering them and looking into these lights and remembering that they are light and love, they are teaching us too. And like, how cool to think, like, our people that we're trying to remember tonight, they're not just sad, they're here, they're teaching too. We're that circle that you just made of love. Yeah, we're looking at them and we're sad, but they were reflecting out as well to all of us. They're not just nowhere. They're here in light and love. And no one can take that away. Never. It doesn't matter if this is a smaller circle over the years. That doesn't ever change the ripple effect of all the light and love that is coming together for all the places that are celebrating all of our loved ones tonight. I hope that makes sense. I just want everybody to remember, it's not, we have the grief and we have the loss and we want to remember them in our hearts, but we honor them for teaching us here tonight too. Their light is here to teach us that together we can do anything. So we remember them, but we honor them. Darkness doesn't get the last word, love does. Woo! Woo! Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Natalie. That was epic. Alrighty. So our next speaker is this beautiful mother who lost her beautiful daughter to this terrible crisis. She carries a pain no parent should ever have to experience, and she does so with such strength and love. Please welcome Cheryl Offord. Yeah.
I just have something I'm going to read here, but I just wanted to say.
Way to make an entrance.
Yes. I just wanted to say thank you to Ryan's Hope for loving my daughter and keeping her in your heart and prayers all the time. So I have something here to read. I never like to get political about this stuff because I feel like there's enough people out there doing that. So I try to speak from my heart, from my own experiences. So I'm just going to read something here, and when I'm done, I have a little bit of poetry I'm going to read. Life doesn't always give us one more day, but I was blessed for 22 years with one chance, and I wasn't wasting it. Every moment, every laugh, every conversation, every hug, every tear, and every chance to hold my child I never took for granted. To cherish the gift of just being present, the true emotion of unconditional love. My greatest teacher, she gifted me strength, grace, compassion, and humbleness. She created a pathway of culture, teachings, and ceremony. I somehow believe this was all part of it. These gifts so I could reach for them to guide me through my healing. She didn't just suffer in this war, she suffered in health, in bullying, in abuse, and in self-harm. But she was also beautiful in the way she loved, the warmth of her presence, the spirit in her dance, and the knowledge for culture. As an active mama through her addiction, I know the other side of this. I jumped into those trenches to get her out when she was weak. I believe in those very moments life gave her time. Some call me the enabler, but I was never one to like the language they hold to this disaster. Those trenches weren't rock bottom. What does that even mean? The precious, fragile souls live in darkness. How much more rock bottom could that be? And the big word stigma, the aggressive opinion, along with webbing together what entails the enabler. There are pieces of her story I don't talk about. I choose not to because how can I? I'm just not ready. And this I respect her and I honor her. Her story began as a young girl, and if there is anything I can do right now is share the beauty of her with you. She was so eager to search for help, for healing, by reaching for her culture, her people, her elders, her teaching, her ceremony, and her dance. She created imprints with everyone she walked with and all the people that held her together. Her love is unique and her heart is rare and her spirit is unconditional and full of compassion. She hugged you. When she hugged you, it was like your world went silent, even just for a moment. I can talk about all the ways the system failed her, but you see, the thing is, we all know this standing here this evening. I can tell you that I heard my child say she wanted to die more than I ever heard her say she wanted to live, but this is part of the story that is not mine. I can share my rawness. I can tell you that I have found my child in states that no mother should endure. But she is my child, and I am her mother, and she was hurting, and she was sick. This is all part of our story, and it's much bigger than this. I can share good, great, sadness, and all of it matters, but all of it shares the same emotion, and that's tears. And this is where I began building my toolbox: people, places, and things. People consist of the beautiful souls that I reach for, and they can turn the light on for me. I know if it's a day I need someone, I can choose my safe person. My places become the water, the trails, the sunrise, the sunset, and even just sitting and people watching. My things become the days I bury myself in creating or cooking or baking or art or writing. It's not easy living with grief, but we become so familiar with each other. All of it is my beautiful child smiling at me through it all. This is where I've mastered mountains, battled the largest waves, and walked 1,000,000 miles. I had to find myself again, and I still search today. I'm learning life with each experience I give myself to heal. I know my boundaries, and I don't push myself. Today it feels like yesterday and forever at the same time. I know my daughter loves when I smile, when I laugh, when I take care of my spirit, so each day I am her recovery. So I will share my poem now. I am that beautiful butterfly you saw fluttering around you when you went for a walk this morning. I am the rabbit sitting in your backyard just staring at you, admiring your beauty. I am that dime that was in your path when you had no energy to get up that day, but you did. I am the waves in the calm water that come as soon as you sit to visit me. I am the hawk that flew above you when you needed to know I was with you. I am the touch that you felt as you lay crying in your bed. I am sitting in that chair that is empty when our family gathers for holidays that you set for me. I am walking with you when you are out at night and feeling scared. I am that dragonfly that landed beside you and sat looking you in the eyes, trying to let you know I'm okay. I am that beautiful flower you admire so much. I hear you when you talk to me, and I do my best to show up when you need me the most. When you're out shopping, don't be afraid to go to that grocery store because we spend every Sunday in there. Don't fear going to places I love the most. I was the happiest there. And stop asking yourself why. And stop thinking of you the should have, could have, or would have. There was nothing that you could have done to save me. You did what you did, and that was love me unconditionally and fight when I was weak, and you never gave up on me. Your voice, your love, and your compassion never went unnoticed. And if I could have and should have, and believe me, I would have.
Sorry, I had to make sure I grabbed the right one. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Can we give her another round of applause, guys? All right, our last speaker is a beautiful friend of mine that I am so proud and honored to be introducing tonight. This woman is absolutely incredible and one of the strongest people I've ever met. She has been through hell and back and still has a heart of gold that she wears on her sleeve. I'm so grateful to be able to call her a friend. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you all Lori Schneider.
Rewind to 1985. Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name is Lori Schneider. I'm 8 years old. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse so that I can help take care of people and save lives. Fast forward to today. I'm still Lori Schneider. I'll be 48 years old in 2 months. And today I don't want to do anything but enjoy the day while I live. Addiction is the biggest struggle I've had during my life. It started when I was 11 and I had my first cigarette. Then drinking at 12 until I was 15 when I met the love of my life, Ron. We have 2 amazing kids together. Karina, our daughter, who is 30, but was forever 12 in her dad's eyes. Carter, who is 25 and Dad's best friend. My addiction really began heavily in 2001 when my son was 1 and my daughter was 7. Because in January of '99, I was assaulted by a family member that led to a decline in my life. The unhealed trauma was just waiting for some way to get better. I found this better in drugs. I instantly forgot about the pain I was in. My husband and I used together for many years, somehow managing to keep our children, who no doubt have unhealed trauma of their own from our use. Ron and I did get sober in 2008 and stayed sober until 2014. Those 7 years were the highlight of my life. Our family was thriving and growing. Our first granddaughter, Aaliyah, was born, and wow, what a gift from God. But sadly, that beautiful gift was not enough to keep us sober. We slipped and fell back into active addiction, forever changing the entire course of our lives and everyone around us. Ron and I started using heavily crack and fentanyl. We were completely absorbed. In 2020, we were in the deepest pit of all. Ron had suffered one overdose that he came back from, thankfully, and I had a total of 9 overdoses. I will forever be grateful that my husband was always there to bring me back to life. That year, we lost custody of our son, Carter, who has a rare form of epilepsy called Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. During his life, he has been in 19 induced comas due to the syndrome. We cared for him with all of our soul, kept him alive, and never left his side until our addiction was so out of control that we could no longer give Carter what he needed and deserved. We were barely giving him the necessities of life. So we had no choice but to give him up. This was the biggest heartbreak and failure of our lives at that time. After Carter left, Ron and I dove into the deepest depths of our addiction. We lost our house and ended up homeless on the streets of Barrie, where we would stay until February 20th, 2023, Family Day that year. We woke up early at the Busby Center and started our walk to Trinity Church on Collier Street to have our coffee and breakfast that was always waiting to be served to us and the homeless community by the beautiful people from Ryan's Hope. Unfortunately, we would never make make it inside to have that meal together. The universe had other plans for us. My beautiful husband of 30 years was tragically murdered that day on the steps of the church. We should have been eating it. Right in front of my eyes, Ron's life was taken, and mine would forever be changed to one of utter loneliness. I miss Ron with all my heart and soul. Our children and grandchildren are left with an empty black hole of sadness. Ron was a great man whose life was so much more than his addiction. He helped save lives on numerous occasions. One of those times was early one morning. Around 7:30, we walked past the old Dunlop Theater. There were 2 men there, one that was slumped over in an obvious state of overdose, and the other was opening Narcan. Ron immediately administered the first dose while I flagged down the garbage man, and I asked him to call 911, and he asked me why. And I said, because there is a young man dying from an overdose, and he said no. And I was shocked. Really, you said no? So I ran to McDonald's and asked one of the construction workers to call, and he did. I ran back to my husband, who was now doing CPR on the young man. Ron had already given him 3 doses of Narcan and realized that this was a very serious situation. By the time the first responders got there, it was too late. There was no coming back from this one. Ron and I carried on that day with heavy hearts, wishing we had known the young man's name. We never did find out. Although to us he was nameless, he was so much more. He was one of us. He was loved by us in his final moments. I know that man has been reunited with Ron and has told him his name. And the 2 of them have found peace and are waiting to be reunited with their loved ones. Addiction kills in many forms. I have been in recovery this time since February 20th, 2025. To say it's an easy task would be a lie, but to say it is so much better than active addiction is the absolute truth. If I could go back to 8-year-old me, I would tell her to be easy on herself and never forget her dreams. Thank you for listening. Hug and love your family. And if I could give you one piece of advice, I would say never give up on an addict and meet them where they are in their addiction. It could very well be the thing that saves their life. God bless, stay safe. Tonight we are united in our love and our grief. May all of your loved ones be resting in peace until we meet again.
Okay, can we get another round of applause for Lori, please? That was so incredibly brave and just incredible. Okay, so we are gonna head into our next part of the night. So I just have a little thing I want to say about it. So why do we light candles? We light candles for hope, for love, for protection, for connection, and for remembering. In a moment, we are going to light our candles and say our loved ones' names, followed by a moment of silence and a walk of remembrance around the block before placing our candles in the water. I am going to pass it over to Aunt Christy to read to us as we hand out the candles.
I just want to thank the speakers again. Your stories were so powerful, and it's so important to hear the voices of lived experience, because every story is different and every story is told. When every story is told, there's someone in the audience, I truly believe, that needs to hear that story. And so just thank you for your bravery and your courage and your honesty in sharing those stories tonight. We'll be going on a candlelight grief walk around the block. I think that there's something really empowering and healing about carrying a light and walking with our grief. You're going to get a candle and a vessel to hold it in. Please wait until everyone gets their candles and we'll all turn them on together. We will carry these candles with us while we go on our grief walk. And then we will return. When we return, we will place the candles on the water to be beacons of light to our community in mourning. When you get your candles and we turn them on, I invite you to say the name or the names of those you are here to honor and remember, either out loud or in silence. We'll follow that by a moment of silence in honor of all those who have been lost. And as we pause to mourn those deaths of those near and dear to us, let us also celebrate the gifts that they brought to our lives, and let us hold on to the light that they have left behind in this world. Our community has experienced some recent heartbreaking losses. There are farewells we haven't had a chance to say, so let this be the opportunity for us to say those goodbyes now. Let us hold the grief in our hearts while we are held in the embrace of a community that knows and feels those losses. We are not alone in our heartbreak. We gather here together tonight to offer healing to each other and to offer hope. Look around at all gathered here. This is the strength of community. This vigil provides a safe and sacred space for all of us to be present with our grief. It is also a space for us to give thanks to those who have been a support and a strength to us, and to this love-filled community, which we are all blessed to be a part of.
Does everybody have a candle?
Christine and Angela. Ash.
Here to remember, and then we will have a moment of silence.
If anyone's doesn't light up, put your hand up. I'll give you another one. That would be me.
Carrying a candle. Carrying a candle from one little place of shelter to another is an act of love. To move through the huge and hungry darkness, step by step, against the invisible wind that blows forever around the world. Carrying a candle is an act of foolhardy hope. Surely it could be blown out. The wind is contemptuous. The darkness cannot comprehend it. How much light can this tiny flame shed on all the great issues of this day? It's as helpless as a newborn child. Look at how the human hand that holds it, that cradles it, has become translucent, fragile and beautiful, foolish and loving. Step by step, the wind is stronger than this hand, and the darkness is infinite around this tiny here and now flame. Carrying with such care through an uncaring world, from one little place of shelter to another, is an act of love. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never put it out. We now invite you to join us as we carry our candles on a walk with grief. So there will be volunteers staying behind to watch all the tables and stuff, so we invite everyone to come with us as we walk with our grief now.
Who's staying behind? Dustin, you're staying behind? Or? You're staying behind? Like this?
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
I want to go, but I don't know if I can do the walk. I just had spinal surgery 3 weeks back. Like I'm on week 4
Oh yeah, no, I
of recovery, but I want
no, I think
to
you
go.
should. You can maybe do a little walk when they come back.
I'll catch up to them.
Yeah.
Do you know, how far are they going? Do you know?
They're going to the water?
Just around the block. Is it a big block? Oh, you're not sure what block?
That's the most random
Uphill?
unit of measurement, a block. That's a random unit of. Yeah, absolutely. One last one. Yeah.
Thank you.
When somebody's taking a picture.